respect to how the case came about, you had mentioned you didn't go to the DA's office, or excuse me, to the Attorney General's office this time, like you did on a different issue. Could you explain again why that would have been the case? Why you didn't attempt to pursue the Attorney General's office route again? So we have different remedies when the Open Records Act is not being complied with. One of them is to file a complaint with the Attorney General. There are some agencies that the Attorney General is very quick to call and help with. In fact, I think the first time I met you, I filed a complaint with the Attorney General in East Point because they were not providing any documents. The Attorney General called you, you were the city attorney at the time, and you said, oh my gosh, you're right, and I got the documents. I've learned that municipal courts respond very quickly to the Attorney General. I've learned that the Fulton County DA's office does not really care when they get a call from the Attorney General. So I could have wasted time and sent requests over and over to the Attorney General in this case, but that would have just been a waste of time. Okay. And in your consideration, did the fact that the Attorney General also is not quite as high profile or high publicity as something like filing a lawsuit against the District Attorney's office? Your Honor, objection. Not sure what the purpose of that question is other than to make a political point. Sustained. You can try again or rephrase. Thank you, Your Honor. We discussed previously that you had made some other open records requests and there were subpoenas involved with another case that you're handling, a fairly high-profile criminal matter involving prosecution by the District Attorney's Office. Was it your intent to include some of these documents in that litigation as well if they showed what you wanted or what you thought they might? Yeah, well, I think the only way to answer that question is to look at the timeline. So I did a series of open records requests in September of 2023. It's fair to say that most of those were related to that criminal litigation. At the same time, though, I actually I became the president of the Georgia Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers in January. We were actually working with some other public interest organizations prior to my taking over as president. We were doing some investigation on the jail conditions and on the backlog funding for the jail. Most of the records that are subject to this lawsuit actually had to do with the public interest work I was doing on tracking funding for backlog and the jail issues. So there were two separate real umbrellas, that I was working under. I was looking for things in regards to the criminal case, but I was also looking for things that had absolutely nothing to do with the criminal case. Mr. Bowman, can I ask a question? Your line of questioning right now seems to be going towards the intent that the plaintiffs had in seeking the records or the use to which they intended to put those records. And I'm not aware of that being a relevant factor for the court's consideration. If that is, then please tell me why I should be considering that. But my understanding is essentially, is it a public record and was it properly requested in a way that was understandable and could have been complied with? And Your Honor, I think maybe this goes more towards less the actual production of the documents and more towards the attorney's fees issue. So I will withdraw. I'll hold off on some of these questions until we get to the attorney's fees portion. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Bowman. All right. If you give me just a minute, Your Honor, let me make sure that that's exhausted my questions on the substantive portion. A couple points that I would like to go back to regarding the documentation that you did end up receiving from IT related to emails. Mm-hmm. Because you've named the district attorney's office and the district attorney's office is who's still at issue in this case, if they did not have those documents, you said you received them from IT, correct? I received them from you. So you all, actually Ms. Monroe, I received them from Ms. Monroe. They did not send them to me directly. Ms. Monroe sent them to me. She sent them to me from IT.
Fonnie Willis, Dexter Bond, Kevin Armstrong, I'm trying to remember everybody. There were 4 or 5 different people. She sent them to me as the certified records in response to our subpoenas for all of those folks. And there was someone else, maybe Jeremy Murray.
And was that certification of those records, did you know, did that come from the district attorney's office or from the IT department?
It came from, so whoever, Miss Monroe, it came from Miss Monroe, but she sent it, like, if it was the IT packet, it came from IT. Like, whoever was in charge of IT certified that. They did the business record certificate.
And being that if IT is the entity that provided those documents, would you agree that that's not relevant to what the DA had in their office if they are documents that the IT department has?
Well, they're the same documents that you provided me from the DA's office also. So you provided them to me from Fonnie Willis, Dexter Bond, Kevin Armstrong, all of those people. So I basically, it was like 197 pages and I got the exact same set of documents. I don't know where you all got them from. You could have gotten them from IT, you could have gotten them from the DA. I have no idea where you got them from. But I was, the same set was certified from each different agency or each different person, but it was one set of documents. I have no idea where you guys got them from.
Okay. All right. And Your Honor, could we have just a moment?
Sure.
All right, thank you.